Okay, so for our lab 10-2, we're going to be going through and creating a very simple network diagram for our lab. And one of the main reasons that you create a network diagram is so that you have a visual representation of how things are set up. A lot of times you'll do this for certain systems that have a lot of servers attached to them, like ERP systems, CRM, database systems, a lot of stuff like that. We're just going to create a simple one here, so you guys are familiar with how to do that. So you can use Visio for this, which is what people like to use. However, I know some of you might not have Visio. So we're going to just use a free website called draw.io, and that is going to be how we're going to create this network diagram. So first thing we need to do is we need to, I just realized this is not a link, so let me make that a link. Real quick before we start this. So we're going to click on the link here. And then when you get to this screen, you can just say decide later, because you could save this to somewhere later. So what do we want to put on this drawing? So we want to create a network diagram for our lab. So we need to figure out all the data elements that we need to put on there. So where would we start with that? So first we need to figure out all the servers that are in our environment. So I'm going to go back to our virtual machine creation assignment, and we're going to look at all the elements that we have. So in our network we have 4 machines. They're all Windows. We have 3 servers and 1 client machine. So that's what we're going to be setting up today. So first thing we need to do is we need to find some shapes for our server. So I'm going to first start. You can search up here in the top right corner for shapes, and you can see here down the left it has all kinds of different stuff that you can look through, miscellaneous, there's all kinds of different things, but it's easiest just to search for stuff. So I'm going to search for server. So we got a bunch of different ones here. We got Windows Server, Server Farm, SQL Server, Web Server, Cluster Server. This looks like a file server. So let's use, I know this says database server, but this doesn't really look like a database icon. So I'm going to use this as the Active Directory server. So if we do this, we can then put in our TEC330 or TEC330 ADDC, signifying the name. And then secondly, we want to put in the IP address. So it's 192.168.100.10. Okay. So there's our first server. Second server I'm going to put in is our, I'm going to say this kind of looks like a file server, so I'm going to use it as that. So then we'll do TEC330 FSPS, and then we'll put our IP address here, 192.168.100.11. Okay. And then lastly, we have our web server. We have an icon for that. So I'm gonna, you can see how these get, the blue lines will help you line them up. So we could do TEC330 web, and we do 192.168.100.12. Okay, so we got our 3 server machines. Now we need our client machine. So let's do client. That's weird. Computer. Let's use Windows Computer. Like that one. But we'll use this one. Okay, so we'll use this one as our client. So then we can do TEC330 client. And then for this one, I'm going to say Windows 10. Forgot to put on these. I want to put Windows Server 2019 to signify that it's got Windows Server 2019 on it. So then we could say Windows Server 2019 on this one. Same thing on this one. Okay, so now we got our 3 servers here, and then we have our client, right? So what I want to do here is I also want to put what roles these have installed on them. So I'm going to put on here, I'm going to put AD, DS, DHCP, or DNS, and DHCP, because that's the roles that we have on this one. And then on our file and print server here, we're going to have file, print, and then WSUS is what we have on there. And then for our web server, all we have on here is IIS. So that's going to be our roles that we have on there. So now by looking at this, you can tell what each server does, what operating system is on it, and what the IP address is, and how you can connect to it. Really, the purpose of a network diagram is just that, so that an external person could look at this and understand how the network is set up. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually move this down a little bit, because I'm also going to signify that this is connected to the internet. So we need a cloud icon. So we can use this. We'll just say internet. And then down here we can take our lines and, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. We can connect these all together. Easiest way to do that is to, oops, that's not what I want to do. Take the line. And then can connect them up. Sometimes it can be hard to use this because of how it tries to auto figure out what you want to do here. Actually, that's how we should have done this, using the arrows. Because you can do it like this. And then you can create lines here to connect these together. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to take this one and connect it into there. And then we can take our bidirectional just take our line here and show that we're connected out to the internet. Another thing that you can do is you could put this inside of a container. And what you can do here is to represent that these are inside of a virtual machine architecture. So one way to do that is to just do something like this. And then you can type in lab or Hyper-V lab environment, something like that. And there you go. There's your simple network diagram. You can see how this is going to be done pretty quickly. There's all kinds of other things you can do inside of... one thing we did forget to do is we did forget to put that this has DHCP enabled on it. So you can put that there. So as you can see, it's pretty easy to create one of these diagrams in a pretty quick fashion. So what you'll want to submit is you can either submit a screenshot of this. Optionally, you can actually save this as a PDF. So we'll just save as, you can save it as a PNG. You can save it as an SVG. So if I save this as, let's say TEC330, and I'm going to save it as a PNG. I don't know where it went though. Did it download it? Oh, I just closed my browser window. Damn. Oh, I just lost it. Anyway, so take a screenshot or save it and submit that as your assignment content.